Hi, I'm Detective Eric Hill with the City of Batavia Police Department. Today we're here to talk about internet safety for parents, guardians, and communities. Let's get started. This presentation was created by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The National Center's mission is to find missing children, reduce child sexual exploitation, and prevent future victimization. NetSmartz is a safety program that teaches children ages 5 to 17 about how to make better choices online and become responsible digital citizens, guides parents in protecting their children online, and offers a variety of free resources including games, videos, classroom lessons, and presentations like this one. You can find these resources at missingkids.org/NetSmartz and more about all of the National Center's prevention programs at missingkids.org/education. Throughout this presentation, we're going to talk about ways you can protect your children online no matter how they access the internet. Kids go online from school computers, friends' computers, laptops and tablets, cell phones, MP3 players like the iPod Touch, e-readers like the Nook and Kindle, game consoles like the Nintendo Wii U, PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, handheld gaming devices like the Nintendo 3DS. Technology changes all the time, and kids are constantly finding the newest websites, apps, and gadgets. It's up to you to teach them the basic rules of internet safety so they can use all of these responsibly. So what are your children doing online? During my internet safety presentations in the schools, I have found that your children use social media sites and apps like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Kik, or Yik Yak. Text or play games on your cell phone or their own phones. Use Google to help them with their homework. Play computer games or games on a PlayStation or Nintendo 3DS. Play in virtual worlds like Minecraft. Download music from iTunes. Watch videos on YouTube. And download apps from the App Store or Google Play. Today we're not going to go through every website and app your child might be using. Excellent information about how to check your child's browser history, using privacy settings, and how to report on the various apps and websites your child may be using is readily available online. Remember, learning about specific apps only helps if you are learning about the apps that your child is actually using. The best thing you can do is ask your child which apps he or she uses and then work through and explore the privacy and reporting functionalities together. The most important thing is to communicate with your children about what they're doing online. Start the conversation by asking about their interests. Ask them questions like, what's your favorite app? Who do you talk to when you play games? What kind of pictures do you like to post? Discuss these things with them regularly so they know you're available and have an open mind. Kids need to know that you won't freak out and stop them from going online if something happens. You may not be able to protect them from everything, but you can teach them how to make responsible choices when they encounter a problem. The good news is that most children are not getting into trouble online, but there are still risks to consider. The issues we're going to discuss today are not specific to just one device or website. No matter what your children like to do online, they face the following issues: inappropriate content, online privacy, sexting, online sexual solicitation, and cyberbullying. You may think you don't have to worry about cyberbullying because you have a younger child, or that your teenager already knows not to respond to inappropriate messages. But these topics are relevant to every child at some point. Today's presentation will help you talk about them in a way that's appropriate for your child's age. This chart shows how you can talk to your children about all of these online risks in an age-appropriate way. For example, you should start talking about online manners, or netiquette, with your youngest children so they have a good foundation for later lessons about issues like cyberbullying. You can start talking to your tweens about not posting revealing pictures and evolve that into a frank discussion about sexting when they become teenagers. You can talk to young children about not trusting everyone they meet online By the time they're teens, they'll be ready to discuss the risks of meeting offline. Remember that the skills your child needs to practice safe behaviors online are skills that are built over time. Think about how we prepare children to ride in cars safely. We start by buckling them into their car seats. As they grow to toddlers and preschoolers, we still buckle them in, but we start to talk about why they need to be buckled in. Then we allow them to help us keep them safe by having them climb into their own seats and helping with the buckles when they are able to. We require compliance. We don't drive unless they are buckled. We stop the car if they unbuckle themselves. We have these conversations many times over the years. We work with other adults to make sure that they are also requiring compliance. Eventually, when our children are in cars without us, they have learned to wear their seatbelts through the years of practice and having that expectation set and enforced. When they start driving on their own, we talk about requiring passengers to wear seatbelts as well. We don't start talking to them about wearing a seatbelt at 16. The same is true online. From the very beginning of a child's access to anything online, parents need to talk to children in an age-appropriate way about safe behaviors. These conversations must be regular and active at all ages. The information you will learn in this presentation will help you prepare for all of these discussions. This video is particularly well suited for young children as an example of how to talk to them about strategies for staying safe online without being too scary or introducing concepts too advanced for their developmental level. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone! Welcome back! I hope you had as much fun this summer as we did. Nettie and Webster are already back in school, and they're super excited to start learning new things. They're also excited about making new friends. In fact, connecting with new friends is the topic of this month's brand new video. Keep watching to find out how Webster used his NetSmartz when connecting with new classmates online. Club UIN presents Connecting with New Friends Online. It was the beginning of the school year, and Webster was just getting to know some of his new classmates. He was surprised to learn that they shared so many of the same interests. Like Webster, Dell loved basketball, Ada liked the guitar, and Link played almost all the same video games as he did. He could tell this was going to be a great year. One day, Webster and his new friends were playing outside after school. "Hey, do you have the Postpick app?" Dell asked. "Oh yeah, I love that one," Ada replied. "Add me. I'm Ada Girl 123. Dell, Link, and Ada all exchanged usernames, but not Webster. He didn't have the app. "Oh man, you've got to get it, Webster," they told him. "Go download it. It's free." Webster paused. He knew he shouldn't download things to his phone without checking first with a trusted adult. But he didn't want to seem uncool in front of his new friends. What should he do? But then he had an idea. "That sounds fun. I'll download it when I get home. That way a trusted adult can help me with the privacy settings. Then I'll add you guys." "Good idea," Link said. "Yeah, my mom didn't like Postpick at first, but now that we made the account private, she's okay with it, and I get to share with my friends," Dell added. Webster was glad to hear that his new friends already knew a lot about how to UIN. That night, Webster and I downloaded the app. We made a username that didn't reveal too much, like his birthday or age, created a strong password with numbers, letters, and symbols, and then set his account to private so that only people he okayed could see his posts. After that, Webster added his friends' accounts, and they had a blast sharing together. The school year was off to a great start. The end. How about a round of applause for Webster? Way to UIN, buddy! If you want to learn more about connecting with friends online, make sure to print out this month's brand new activity, Connect to Friends, Connect the Dots. That's all from us this month. See you next time. UIN, and welcome back to school.
Let's start by discussing the inappropriate things your child may encounter online. The internet opens up an entire world of information and images, some of which you don't want your children to see. On the internet, your child might come across content that features pornography, excessive violence, hate speech, or risky or illegal behaviors. Seeing inappropriate content online may have negative effects on your children. Some kids, especially younger children, may feel guilty or ashamed. Sometimes, children exposed to violent or sexual content may become desensitized to it, and this can affect their self-image or overall development. Let your kids know they can always talk to you. The internet is a great tool for them, so don't make it scary. If your child does open up to you about inappropriate content they've seen, listen attentively and stay calm. Reassure them that it's not their fault and help them report anything that's made them feel uncomfortable. If you believe they received the inappropriate content from a friend or shared it with someone else, you may want to talk to a teacher or school counselor. Again, the goal is to have regular and active conversations so that the conversation is open and ongoing, not just reacting to negative incidents or behaviors. Next, talk to your child about what to do when they find inappropriate content. They can turn off the screen, use the back button, tell a trusted adult if they have questions or need help, and report the content to the website or app where they found it. In addition to talking to children about what they do if they see inappropriate content, you'll also want to talk to older children about not posting it themselves. Inappropriate information your children shouldn't share online includes illegal or inappropriate behavior, offensive language, threats of violence, underage drinking or drug use, and hate speech. Posting these things online means your child may damage their reputation at school, in the workplace, or among their friends, be punished at school if what they post breaks school rules, be charged with a crime if they are breaking a law, and hurt their chances of getting into college, getting a scholarship, or getting a job in the future. So what can you do? Connect. Set some ground rules. Establish clear guidelines like what types of sites kids can visit, apps they can download, and what times they have access to electronics. Consider blackout periods that require disconnection. Research before you buy. It's important to learn about a device's capabilities before you buy it. Will it allow unknown people to communicate with my child? Will this device allow children to make unchecked purchases? If so, consider purchasing another device or installing monitoring software. That being said, go beyond the safeguards. Installing monitoring software doesn't guarantee your child will be safe online. Time, attention, and active conversation are the best tools to protect them. Finally, report. If your kids are dealing with cyberbullies or potential online enticement, report it to the website, cell phone provider, law enforcement, or at www.cybertipline.org. Learn. Know the platforms. Online enticement happens across all platforms, so be aware of the sites, games, and apps your children frequent. Ask them to show you how they use them. Be proactive. Teach your kids to spot common tricks used by online offenders. In the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children Cyber Tip Line reports, the most common tactics used to entice a child online were engaging the child in sexual conversation or role play as a grooming method, directly asking the child for sexually explicit images of themselves or offering to mutually exchange images, developing a rapport with the child through compliments and other supportive behaviors such as liking their online posts, sending unprompted sexually explicit images of themselves, pretending to be younger, and offering incentives for explicit content. Spot the red flags. A child who is experiencing online enticement may be spending increasing time online, getting upset when he or she is not allowed on their device, taking extra steps to conceal what they are doing online, receiving gifts from people you do not know, Finally, engage. Talk about it. Your kids might not tell you everything, but ask anyways. Regular conversations about safety can go a long way in increasing trust and communication. Get involved. Challenge them to a duel. If you have kids who like to play online games, ask if you can play too. When you respect their interests, they're more likely to respect your rules. Finally, don't pull the plug. Taking away internet access because they may have made mistakes online doesn't solve the problem. Talk to them about protecting themselves and respecting others online. You may also be concerned about how much information your children are sharing online. Some examples of things that are probably okay for them to share include pictures of family and friends. As long as they are posted with permission, most pictures kids post are harmless. Kids love to take and post pictures as a way to express themselves and document their lives. Casual conversation in a game. Many kids play computer games or games on a console like Xbox that allow them to talk to other players. For example, kids on Club Penguin can talk to each other, but the website uses strict chat filters and pre-selected questions and answers. Other games, like Call of Duty, allow kids to talk directly to other players on headsets. This kind of casual conversation is usually fine when kids stick to talking about the game. However, there are certain kinds of personal information you definitely don't want your kids revealing. Personal information that your children shouldn't share online includes their passwords, home address, current location, home and cell phone number, and email address. Sharing personal information online is a security risk because it leaves your children open to identity theft. Many identity thieves target children because you're less likely to notice until your child is older, like when they apply for their first credit card. For example, they may steal children's social security numbers, names, and birth dates. Online scams. Many children, especially young children, may be tricked into sharing passwords or visiting inappropriate websites by online scams promising prizes or money. Hacking. Sharing passwords and other account details can result in someone hacking into children's accounts and pretending to be them, or stealing files or other information you store on your computer. Online enticement. Online enticement involves an individual communicating with a child via the internet with the intent to commit a sexual offense or abduction. This is a broad category of online exploitation that includes sextortion, where a child is being groomed to take sexually explicit images, meet face-to-face with someone for sexual purposes, or in some instances, to sell or trade the child's sexual images. Sextortion, a new online exploitation crime directed towards children in which non-physical forms of coercion are used, such as blackmail, to acquire sexual content from the child, engage in sex with the child, or obtain money from the child. You may think it's safer for your child to lie about their name and age online, but that's not always true. For example, it's actually against Facebook's terms of service to use a fake name or age. All accounts of anyone under the age of 18 are not open to the public, so make sure teens sign up using their real birthdays. If they pretend to be older, their account has less default security restrictions. Here's what you can do to help your kids from revealing too much personal information online. Establish rules about what they can share and under what circumstances. For example, it's okay for them to enter their address online if they're ordering something from Amazon with your permission, but it's not okay to enter their address in a pop-up that promises to send them a prize. Learn about the reporting options of any websites and games they're using. Each website and game will have its own tools to report issues such as stolen passwords or hacked accounts. Get to know them so you know what to do if there's a problem. Check privacy settings. You should help kids set up their accounts and check their privacy settings often to make sure they're using the settings that offer the most protection. Help them create strong passwords and tell them not to share them with anyone but you. Passwords should be at least 8 characters long. Try using silly words or phrases that are easy to remember. Never use personal information in a password and change them often. Talk about friends lists. NetSmartz recommends that children only add friends they know offline. In other words, real life. But this may change as they get older. Talk to them about the types of friends you're okay with them adding. In addition to being careful about the kind of information they post, you want to make sure your children are being careful about the images they share. Sexting is when a teen sends or posts nude or partially nude images, usually via cell phone. It's hard to know for sure as the research varies widely, but recent studies suggest that 15% of teens have sexted, and 27% of teens say they have received a sext. Teens sext for a variety of reasons. They may be trying to be funny and sharing it with friends, trying to impress a crush who may or may not have asked for the picture, peer pressure or threats, experimenting with relationships, sexual behavior, and boundaries. Sexting can be part of normal adolescent development that often includes risk-taking and boundary testing. However, one study found that teens who engage in sexting are more likely to be engaged in other risky sexual behaviors, including unprotected sex. This suggests that sexting is part of a pattern of risky behaviors for certain teens. Even though teens usually intend for only one person to see these pictures, they don't always stay private. Take a look at this video to see how one girl's choice to send a nude picture quickly got out of control.
You probably get lots of messages every day, but what if you got one like this? What would you do? Would you send a picture? No? Cool. That's an easy way to protect yourself. But what if you'd chosen differently? What if you send the picture? They'd never share it with anyone else, right? Do you want the picture shared with others? Sorry, you no longer have a choice. It's out of your hands now, because sometimes people we trust break that trust. Maybe the person you sent the picture to shows it to some friends. Maybe they send it to a couple friends, who send it to a couple more friends, you get the idea. It spreads, and you never know who might see it. Your little brother? Your mom? Other people at school?
Seriously?
And I would never.
Even strangers could get a hold of your picture. You never really know where that picture will end up.
Look at it.
How long it will be out there? Or what the consequences will be. Don't let others decide what happens to your image. Think before you share. Learn more at NetSmartz.org. And hey, if your image is already out there, know that it's not your fault. For information about removing sexual pictures and videos from the internet, visit missingkids.org/gethelpnow.
There are many consequences to sexting, some of which you saw in the video. Humiliation at home, at school, and online if the image spreads. Bullying by peers, sometimes so extreme teens don't want to go to school. Blackmail by somebody threatening to distribute earlier sexting images if they don't send more. Suspension or expulsion from school, or losing a spot on a school sports team. Police involvement, which does not usually result in the team being charged with a serious crime, but may result in mandated education programs or community service. Here are some things you can do to address sexting with your child. Talk to them about the consequences. They may not realize that they can get in trouble at school or with the police. They also may not realize the image can stay online for a long time if it spreads. Tell them to never forward a sexting image. This could mean big trouble at school and again with the police. Plus, it's a major violation of trust and exposes the person in the picture to potential ridicule. Discuss healthy sexual relationships. Be open and honest. They should be able to talk to you about sexual things. Make sure they know what's healthy and what's not. Emphasize that anyone who pressures them to send a sexual picture is not someone they can trust. Talk about ways an image can spread online. Even if your child thinks their boyfriend or girlfriend would never forward their picture, There are other ways a photo could spread, such as if the phone is lost, borrowed, or stolen. Report it to your child's school or the police if you know a child is being blackmailed, a photo is being passed around without consent, or a child is being bullied. Ignoring the situation will not help the child in the photo. You can also make a report with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's Cyber Tip Line at cybertipline.org. The majority of sexual and aggressive solicitations occur among older teens. Most teens are solicited by their peers or young adults in a very casual way and report not being very bothered by it. Many of them simply remove themselves from the situation by blocking the person who sent the inappropriate request, asking them to stop, or leaving the site. Although most teens aren't bothered by sexual solicitations, there are some that lead to dangerous online relationships with predatory offenders. In these cases, the offenders begin to play on children's vulnerabilities by offering them affection and attention. This manipulative process is called grooming. Offenders entice children by exploiting their natural curiosity about sex, lowering the child's inhibitions by gradually introducing explicit images and child sex abuse images, using his or her adult status to influence and control a child's behavior, or offering gifts like cell phones and gift cards. It is important to note that sexual exploitation and abuse does not always involve grooming. All inappropriate or exploitive behavior needs to be addressed and reported. Here are some signs of grooming you should look for. Check if your child is receiving gifts through the mail, like bus tickets, cell phones, and webcams, calling unknown numbers, rejecting family and friends in favor of spending time online, getting upset when he or she can't get online, minimizing the screen or turning off the monitor when you come into the room. If you see any of these signs, don't ignore them. Talk to your children. Check out what they're doing online and who they're talking to. Get help immediately if you suspect something is wrong. Again, all inappropriate, abusive, or exploitive behavior needs to be responded to and reported, whether or not signs of grooming are present. Even though the majority of sexual solicitations target girls, boys are targeted too, and often they do not report the incidents. In this video, Ryan and Noah reveal how dangerous it can be to trust someone you've only met online.
It happened to me 5 years ago. My parents were divorcing and things at school and with friends weren't too good. I felt like the world was falling down around me. That's when I met someone online. We would chat about everything in my life. I finally had someone to take my side and see things my way. I had someone who put me first. No matter how much I thought we could trust each other, I knew better than to meet in person with someone I had met on the internet. But one day, when school was dismissed early, there was someone waiting for me at my front door. I never thought I'd find myself in this situation. I learned the hard way that no matter who you think you're talking to online, there are people out there looking to hurt you. It doesn't matter if they're male or female, or if they look a little rough around the edges, or even if they're the most beautiful person. These people exist, online and in the real world.
It happened to me too. I was 14 and someone online sent me a private message. I shouldn't have responded, but I messaged back and 7 days later, agreed to be picked up outside of my house at midnight. I was taken to another house and what happened there was terrifying. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. I felt numb and powerless and didn't know what to do. I was too afraid to tell my parents and ashamed of what everyone would think of me. But hiding it was a mistake. I saw the car that I was taking and driving around my neighborhood all summer long. Was I being targeted again, or was someone else being victimized? I finally decided to tell someone.
I have to live with the decision I made to trust someone I met on the internet.
But the important thing is that I told someone. I'm not a victim, but a survivor.
There are several things you can do to keep your child safe from predatory offenders. Talk to them about what makes a healthy relationship. Have an open door policy so they will not seek answers or inappropriate relationships online. Keep in mind that many teens are flattered by attention from older people. Make it clear that a 22-year-old flirting with them is not flattering. It's inappropriate. This type of conversation can even start with young children. Talk to them about what is okay for people to talk about online and what is not okay. Set a policy about meeting offline for older teens. If you're not comfortable with it, then tell them they are not allowed to meet online friends in person. If you think it's okay, then establish rules to make it safer. Suggested rules include having teens get your permission before agreeing to meet. Go with you or another trusted adult. Meet in a public place and not leave. Know your child's online friends. Encourage them not to accept friend requests from anyone they don't already know. Ask questions about the people on their friends list, such as, how did you meet, and what do you talk about? Keep in mind that some offenders use the internet to target minors they already know. If someone your child knows contacts them online, they should check with you before responding. Teach your children the warning signs. Talk to them about grooming and ways people may try to manipulate them. Above all, call the police if you suspect your child is having inappropriate conversations or relationships online. You should also file a report with the website or app where they've had these conversations. Here's an example of a 15-year-old who made a report about inappropriate behavior online. Remind your children that even if they are not bothered by an inappropriate comment, they should still report it to help keep the internet safe from others. Remind them that the person sending them inappropriate messages or pictures may try to do the same thing to another child who is younger or more vulnerable. You can also make a report to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's Cyber Tip Line. All reports made to the tip line are made available to law enforcement. Make a report if anyone sends your child photos or videos containing obscene content, anyone asks your child to send sexual images, anyone speaks to your child in a sexual manner, or anyone asks your child to meet in person. You can contact them at cybertipline.org or 1-800-THE-LOST. Cyberbullying is exactly what it sounds like. Bullying through technology like cell phones, social media sites, and online games. Research tells us that about 25% of middle and high school students have been cyberbullied. About 16% admitted to cyberbullying others. Youth who identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, or questioning are more likely to be involved, both as a victim and as a bully. Some examples of cyberbullying include sending someone mean text, photoshopping or altering a picture to embarrass someone, creating a fake profile to post defamatory information or images, posting fight videos online to embarrass the person who lost, spreading rumors and gossip online, posting pictures intended to embarrass someone, sending threatening or harassing comments. Even young children who don't use social media or cell phones can experience some form of cyberbullying while playing online games or playing in a virtual world. For example, they may be exposed to inappropriate language while chatting, taunted by other players, targeted by more experienced players, or ignored by other players or excluded from playing. Cyberbullying differs from regular bullying in a number of ways. It often spreads faster than in-person bullying because of instant online communication, has a wider audience because it can easily be sent to a potentially unlimited amount of people, follows children home from school so they can't get away from it. All of this can undermine your child's sense of security. They don't feel as safe at school because cyberbullies are frequently classmates and other peers, and they don't feel safe at home because the bullying is happening 24/7 online. You may have heard a lot about cyberbullying in the news because of highly publicized teen suicides. It's important to remember that although cyberbullying can be extremely devastating for some victims, suicide as a result of cyberbullying is extremely rare, and there are usually other factors at play. Researchers have looked at cases of cyberbullying-related suicide and found that most teens who committed suicide were bullied both at school and online. Many of the teens had some type of mental illness, such as depression. Though it is rare for victims of cyberbullying to commit suicide, cyberbullying can still have very serious effects on the children who are targeted, including depression, anxiety, academic problems, and more. Children and youth need to know that they are responsible for their behavior online. Choices young people make about what to post and how to treat others online can have positive or negative consequences for themselves and for others. This video was created by Trend Micro as a part of their What's Your Story contest.
This is a line, and this line is mine. You will kindly find my feet and my spine are perfectly aligned. You'll also find that on either side is a plus and a minus sign. Right now I'm on this line, minus this, now I'm online. This is a line, and this line is mine. You will kindly find my feet and spine are on the plus side. Now I'd like to assign and also define what one might find on this side of the line. I will not pretend that there are no consequences of saying something offensive online, no matter what my ignorant friend says. Because words are all I have, and yeah, I know it's sad. We hide behind the mask of the latest social networking fad. So there's respect to my status, whether through Mark Zuckerberg or Tom, and I'll treat you the same in person, and yeah, I'll accept your friend request, Mom. This is a line, and this line is mine. You will kindly find my feet and my spine are on the minus sign. Now I'd like to assign and also define what one might find on this side of the line. Now, I might seem unassuming, but if you only knew what I was doing, brewing, spewing, spitting venom when I'm at that screen, I ruin. Reputations I will splatter. Typing faster, I get madder. All the insults I will gather. You're so lucky, it's only sadder. Day. You have one day. Oh yes, Sunday, for my words to die away. And on that one day, oh I must say, you're gonna wish you had a different name. But then it's Monday. And at school, I'll remind them all of what I said. Then it's Tuesday, and then it's Wednesday, and then we'll all find out you're dead. This is a line, and this line is mine. And now that I've assigned what one might find on either side, you will kindly find that my feet and my spine are on the plus sign. And I'm not moving. Where are you?
As you can see, cyberbullying can have a tremendous impact on children. That's why it's so important for you to understand the issue. To combat cyberbullying, you need to know who is involved. Here are the major players. The cyberbully can be someone who instigates the bullying or someone who joins in. The victim, the one who is being bullied, usually both online and offline. Bystanders, those who stand by and watch the cyberbullying happen, but do nothing. Your child may fall into at least one of these categories, sometimes more than one, because many children who are cyberbullied also cyberbully others. They have probably been bystanders at one point or another as well. Because cyberbullying can be so far-reaching, it greatly impacts its victims. If your child is being cyberbullied, he or she may suddenly stop using the computer or cell phone, act nervous when receiving an email, IM, or text, seem uneasy about going to school, and withdraw from family and friends. If you see any of these signs, don't ignore them. Cyberbullying victims need to feel that you are taking the problem seriously and that you are going to do everything you can to help them. Here are some specific ways you can help if your child is a victim of cyberbullying. Support your child. Stay calm, but don't downplay the incident. Thank your child for coming to you about the cyberbullying. Review what happened together and see if there are steps the child can take to address the issue. Consider saving the evidence. Ask the school or the police about taking screenshots and printing out any messages. If there is an investigation, They may want to see proof of what was posted. Block cyberbullies. Tell your child not to respond to the messages and take advantage of website features that allow you to block any user who is bothering you. Set up new accounts. This includes email, IM, social media sites, and cell phone numbers. Make sure they only give the new information to friends they trust. Talk to the school. Remember, most cyberbullying involves in-person bullying by someone your child knows, usually a classmate. Teachers and administrators should work together on a plan to address the bullying in school, and they may have specific rules against cyberbullying too. Report it to the website or app where the cyberbullying is taking place. You might also be able to report unwanted text messages to your cell phone provider and block certain numbers. If you feel that any laws have been broken, or if your child has been threatened, then contact the police for help. You can also make a report to the cyber tip line. Finally, remember to take your child seriously. Don't use phrases like, "kids will be kids." Bullying can be very painful. Comfort your child by offering your support and understanding. Sometimes parents don't find out that their children are cyberbullying others until they hear about it from another parent or from the school. Be proactive and look for these signs. Your children may be involved with cyberbullying if they quickly switch screens or close programs when you walk by. Use the computer at all hours of the night. Get unusually upset if they cannot use the computer. Laugh excessively while online. Avoid discussions about what they are doing, and use multiple accounts or use an account that is not their own. If you notice any of these behaviors, get involved and ask them to show you what they are doing. To help prevent your child from becoming a cyberbully, you can establish expectations for online behavior. Make sure your child knows that you think bullying and cyberbullying are unacceptable. Set consequences for cyberbullying. This will vary by family, but can include losing internet privileges or more supervised internet use. Model good online behavior yourself. Children learn from the adults around them, so always be respectful of others online. You don't have to tell your children that they have to be friends with everyone, but you should teach them about respecting others. If you find out that your child has already been involved in cyberbullying, be open to working with the school as they look to correct the problem. Most kids are not bullies or victims, they are bystanders. They are afraid to speak up about cyberbullying because they're afraid of being targeted next or being called a tattletale. However, information from bystanders is critical if teachers and other trusted adults are to take action. Talk to your child about not being a bystander. You can do this by establishing expectations for reporting. Make sure they understand that you expect them to speak up when they see cyberbullying happening, because silence only lets it continue. Encouraging them to stand up for the victim when they feel it is safe to do so. That might mean being a good friend to the victim, telling the bully to stop, or refusing to join in the cyberbullying. They can also show support to the victim in private. And then helping them report the cyberbullying to the website where it's taking place or to a trusted adult at the school. Bystanders will feel better about reporting if they are reassured they're doing the right thing, so help them see it through. You've now heard several strategies to help you deal with inappropriate content, online privacy, sexting, online sexual solicitation, and cyberbullying. Most of those suggestions have been based on communicating with your children, but I also want to talk about technological solutions. Here are some options you may want to look into. Filtering and monitoring software. These can help protect your children from seeing sexually explicit content online and even notify you if they're receiving inappropriate messages. NetSmartz and the Batavia Police Department do not endorse any particular kind of software, but an internet search for computer and/or phone monitoring software will yield good results. You can browse them to see which one fits your needs. Consult your cell phone service provider. They may offer monitoring options for your child's cell phone. Research options for mobile devices. Laptops, tablets, handheld games, and MP3 players may have built-in monitoring options or software for purchase. Look at the individual apps they're using. Many apps have the option to turn off chat features or limit who can see what your child posts within the app. Explore built-in security features for programs and websites. These often have their own privacy or filtering services. For example, Google has a free Safe Search option. Each website or app has different privacy and filtering settings, so you should consult each one to help you better understand their systems. If you have specific questions, you can write to NetSmartz at missingkids.org/contact us. But remember, the most important thing is to communicate with your children about what they're doing online. Being involved in your child's life and talking to them is the best way to help keep them safe both online and off. NetSmartz is here to help you as you establish this open relationship with your child. On missingkids.org/NetSmartz, you'll find resources including discussion starters, information about the issues, tip sheets, and videos. You've seen some of the teen videos today, but NetSmartz also has materials specifically for tweens and younger children. NetSmartzKids.org is an interactive website for kids ages 5 to 10 designed to teach them how to be safer online. The website features resources such as activities, ebooks, games, and videos. NetSmartz Kids is a great resource for teachers to use in the classroom or parents to use at home. I'd like to just say thank you for tuning in today. We greatly appreciate your time. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at the Batavia Police Department. The number here is 585-345-6350. Thanks again. Have a great day.